depends on what.
Let's
Never mind.
see
I'm not gonna say it.
if this works. Now, last night, when we did the regular show, we did not get notifications.
So I just got a notification that it was live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh wait. Yes. No. Yes.
Yes, no, yes, what?
Well, it says live stream offline. I don't hear anything. No, that's Would You Rather. What is this shit? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
The one that says live, it'll have the wrong visual thumbnail.
Got it. Yes, so it says, oh, now it has it. Okay, good. Okay. So there we go. So there's definitely audio this time. Yay. You are on mute again.
I have become the Damon. This is fun. Okay. All right.
Mute is...
I believe we are officially good to go. I'm being Jeff tonight and Damon. Ooh, I'm having a split personality. This will be exciting.
Okay, Sybil, calm down.
All right,
Sybil.
It was a movie. It was a book and a movie, I believe, of a woman with multiple personalities.
They used to call it multiple personality disorder.
And now it's what, dissociative identity disorder or something like that. I don't know.
Jeff says he can hear everyone so far.
Well, that's good.
Promising. Well, if we're ready, I'm gonna play the first audio intro, and we'll be good to go.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, just as a reminder, it's about 1:40, and then we get the actual intro music. We good? Thumbs up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Boop.
Yay.
People call me psycho, but I don't think I'm psychotic. I'm not fazed by Shangela thinking that I may be in the bottom. That's dumb. So I'm just gonna turn my hearing aid down a little bit and just like let her speak, but I'm paying no attention. I thought I killed it. The idea of being in the top is so exciting.
In the challenge, you were terrifying.
I know. I was actually psycho.
Milky, you seem really quiet. What's going through your head?
I'm crying for a legit reason, being the bottom, but I did not see this coming at all. I'm being penalized for going 100% full throttle, and I don't 100% agree with the critiques. I thought Trixie and I had an amazing back and forth. I really thought I killed that challenge. Obviously, this isn't my thing. I'm not super into comedy. And so I thought that being that way and succeeding in a way, that it would be like, wow, Milk, you did it. Just know that I want to be here, know that I want to continue. The judges actually want me to continue in this competition. The other queens respect me, and they want me to be here. I am not on the level of these bottom queens. And just to be compared to them, it pisses me off, but I'm feeling confident.
Woo! No, she better don't!
COL Drag Race.
You are muted.
You are still
again.
muted, honey. You're still muted.
Good Lord.
Take 73. Hey, Kitty Girls. We are live and mostly fixed. Mostly. Got some last minute shit, like I forgot to change the name of the show on YouTube, so people are like, would you rather Triple X Part 2? They were all excited. But no. So it is our COL Drag Race T-Time All-Stars Season 3, Episode number 3. We've moved from the terrible twos into the tantrum trio. More on that later. For those of you that are not aware, I am Gary, one of the co-hosts here with COL, and with me are my two ever fabulous co-hosts.
Hello, everyone. It's Damon. Hi.
Really
and it's Chester with the crown.
Look at you.
Crown
Working
it.
that crown. Oh, she done crowned it. I see that quite well. All right. So let's get into this gig. We don't have any feedback, Facebook or otherwise, that I'm aware of. So let's do this, shall we?
Put the bass in your walk.
All right. First topic area for this episode is our thoughts on the episode. Damon, I'm going to let you step off first.
Okay, so this is hard. Well, it's easy for me to say, really. I put in the doc. Denial is not just a river in Egypt, and the reason I want to say that is because of several things that are that went on this episode and kind of last episode since I wasn't on. But there's someone in this show that I feel like is either in a severe case of denial or is living in their own delusional world and seems to think everything and everyone is top of the, is everything's great for her. And I kind of disagree totally. So this is Milk. I'm going to talk about Milk because I just think this wasn't her episode, quote unquote, but it was kind of the main topic of my issues with the whole show. Milk is in denial in the sense that she doesn't seem to get it why things keep happening the way they're happening. And I think that the reason that is because she doesn't realize that no one is getting what she's doing. Like her Celine in last episode was awful. Just personally, I didn't like it at all. And then this time around, her character was just so everyone said that. I think Ross pretty much said that she stepped on the gas and never let go, and I agree with that totally. Everything was like up here, and what I needed was like some peaks and valleys to kind of give me a more balanced performance. So yeah, someone's in denial, and I think it's Milk and maybe a couple other people, but mostly her. Overall, the show was pretty good, but that in particular was the one thing that got on my nerves.
Nice. All right. My thoughts on the episode, if you're done, Damon.
I'm done.
Okay. It's just drag, baby. Some people taking this a little too seriously right now.
It's $100,000. I'd be taking it seriously.
$100,000, of which the government is gonna take half. So you only
$50,000. I'd be taking it seriously.
You're only gonna get $50K, and then you're gonna spend that on all your shit because you need new shit to tour. So it don't go as far as some people think it is, but no, seriously, I just feel like that people are, I don't know, being a little too full of themselves. And that's what I mean by, like, it's drag. And the people that get further with me are the people that are more humble. So
I can see that.
There are people that understand it's an art, it's entertainment. You know, there's a piece to it about entertainment, but I think there are others that are just letting it go to their head. And I'm like, no, it's just drag, baby. Calm down. That's my thoughts on the episode. Chester, what about you?
This is not RuPaul's Best Friend Race. And that was very, very clear by the... I don't even know what... pettiness, I guess, of one particular individual.
Okay.
You can say the name. We're all
Kennedy
here. Oh.
Ooh.
Interesting. You're calling it...
It was just pettiness throughout the entire episode. And all of it directed at Milk. I was just like, oh, God, get over yourself, woman.
Interesting. I'm going to have to think on that one for a second. Because I'm kind of, I get it. I get what you're saying. I just don't know if I would necessarily call it pettiness.
Well, I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Because I get it.
She's complaining that Milk isn't being her friend at the moment. And I'm like, you're in a goddamn contest. Milk isn't being friends with anybody except for Trixie. And even then, we're only getting, little snippets. We don't know how much she's talking to other people.
Yeah.
We don't know if she's talking to Kennedy or not.
Well, I think overall, okay, when I think about what happened in this episode, which we'll get to in a little bit, I think about it wasn't the best way to do it, but I still see why it happened. Like, I don't think Kennedy should not have said. One of the things she said when she was eliminating her queen was that it was her professional opinion or something along those lines. And I wholly disagree with that. I don't think this was a professional move. I think this was an emotional move, and this was a game move.
Right. Kennedy said that she made her decision based off of her professional opinion on the whole of everybody's work so far.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then she picked the wrong girl.
I agree. And that's sort of why I don't like this whole... Her using the word professional made it... She was trying to make it seem like there was this education or whatever base behind her choice, and that was not it. There was not. It wasn't maybe just that, but there was definitely more to it than a professional taking everything into consideration kind of thing on and off stage. No, there's more to it than that, because to me, as much as I loved Chi-Chi and love Chi-Chi, this was her third time in the bottom. In the first 3 episodes, this was her third time in the bottom. And that, to me, is enough. That, to me, tips the scale a little bit more than someone who was safe but a bitch last episode and crying about her safety, and then 2 now was one of the bottom girls because of certain, small things like keeping it 100. I disagreed with her with Milk's choices in the matter of how she did certain things, but at least she did something. No fault to Chi-Chi at all, but Chi-Chi barely did anything that we saw. But even to me, like, that's better than what Milk did, better than what Chi-Chi did in the challenge. I love Chi-Chi's Runway, but I think just if you were going on professional and over the scheme of the show, then Chi-Chi was in the bottom and Chi-Chi should have gone home. That's just, that's how I feel about it. As much as no matter what you're saying or doing or whatever, and then her choosing Milk was just, it wasn't just a professional opinion choice matter. It was more than that. Yeah. I am not a professional.
I got so choked up over your feedback.
Yeah. No, sorry. It's just...
No,
go ahead.
I think it's interesting. So you're on the camp of you would take the judges' opinions heavily into account for elimination.
If you are going to say that you are going to make a professional quote unquote opinion, then your professionals or whatever are your judges and your talent, as it were, your career. Okay, then what do you do if a girl who has not once, not twice, but 3 times not made the grade? That to me, that's enough to me to say, I'm sorry. I appreciate you and I know you're trying really hard, but I feel that you have not, done, you're not up to the grade. You're not up to the challenge. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. And anything else is a bit of, there was more to it than I'm just basing it on 1 or 2 things or on and off the show and professional and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, I get it. Makes sense. So, Chester, you're basically saying the whole kumbaya of season 2 All Stars is really not there now.
Well, I don't think it ever really was there this season.
Okay.
They were all, civil with one another at the beginning of the season. I'm specifically talking about Kennedy and being pissy with Milk the entire episode.
Yeah.
I think
there was a... Go ahead.
I just think Kennedy's coming from a place of...
pettiness?
No. Well, I mean, some people might feel that way, but I think she is drawing a line and saying, it does not matter that this is a competition. It does not matter that you are suspending reality because we are in this bubble. I think she is saying, this shit matters. And you behaving however you behave is inexcusable, in my opinion. And the issue is that Milk is dismissing Kennedy's opinion and trying to be funny about it. And that's what I think has pissed Kennedy off.
To be clear, I'm not talking specifically about the opening of the show with Thorgy's picture. I'm talking about other instances of Kennedy saying things about Milk there's a particular point in the episode where she says, Milk hasn't bothered to talk to me. And I think that that's very, what's that about? To me, it's very high school. She's not talking to me. She must hate me. I'm going to, fine. I'm just going to not talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think that's potentially one of the issues. I don't know. We're not there in the moment to know what all of that is like. We're learning as the seasons go by, because now in the post-elimination video on YouTube, you get to see them eating, taking their makeup off, back in the workroom. Like, you get a behind the scenes we didn't have before. So I think you can see when the show, quote unquote, at least the judges portion is done, and things go back to normal, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think you see that a lot of the attitude kind of falls away.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because they're fucking tired of shit. I don't know. Like, in the post elimination, one thing stood out to me, just as a sidebar. Chi-Chi made a reference to taking all of something. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a bucket of chicken or a pie or what the fuck it was. But she's like, I want to take this back to my hotel in front of the TV. And I thought, you get to watch TV? Because I thought there was no electronics. I thought they took that shit out of your room, but what do I know? So,
who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So yeah, it was. In the end, I think part of it just has to do with it wasn't. To me, it wasn't a. I don't want to say it wasn't a justified elimination. I just think that the rationale behind the elimination was not accurate.
Well,
like
no, go ahead.
No, I just think that as much as we've talked about Milk and there's all this stuff in regards to her, I could have seen her going home, but that's because I feel that she's been in her own head, and she, like I mentioned in my critique about it, she's got this delusion about how well and how good she's doing. Like, she was on when she was surprised about her elimination or her being in the bottom 3, she was on the couch and saying, me and Trixie had great chemistry and we were going back and forth. And I'm like, no, you weren't. Like, we clearly saw that you were not. You were literally every line, like, yelling and talking and saying something and doing something. And you very rarely gave Trixie an opportunity to do anything. Now, maybe, like I said, in your mind, you think you did, but reality was you didn't. Like, your 2-on-1 date was not nearly the even-sided, like, I'll just use BB and I'll use BB and Bendela's to kind of compare. BB was able to say something, Bendela was able to say something. Bendela's stuff was pretty fucking funny, and BB's wasn't all that great, but it was there. But they each got an opportunity to kind of go back and forth with him,
right? And
that was not the case in Trixie and Milk's performance. Right. And a lot of that had to do, I get that you were playing this psycho stalker character, but as I mentioned, there needed to be some levels. You needed to kind of tone it down a little bit and then ramp back up and then, right, back off some, because the stalker would not be that psycho right at the gate.
Right, and I think Milk may come to understand how she kind of fucked it up, because she says in the judge's critique, to Jeffrey Chapman, the guest judge, the other actor that
Yeah.
she was psycho. And that's the problem. It's like, no, you're supposed to be a stalker, not psycho.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be stalking him, not like you just get out of the loony bin, girl.
Yeah.
So that's where she kind of misjudged. Same with, like, Chi-Chi just knew, and I'll give her this props because I don't mention elsewhere. She owned on the runway and judges' critiques that she fucked up. And she knows she fucked up, and she knows she could do better, but she didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that helped her a lot because judge's decision when it comes to Rue, I think, is about, are you humble? Do you know when your ego became a problem? You know, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
And that did not happen for Milk. So, yeah.
Humble is not a thing that she, I think, does very well.
All right, we ready for our next section?
Sure.
All right.
The time has come to lip sync for your legacy. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
Nice.
All right, snaps and eye rolls. For me, I'm giving snaps to Miss Kennedy. She fucking stepped her pussy up as far as I'm concerned. I thought everyone was like, bye, girl. Bye, bye. You done. Like, you've checked out. You're not delivering. And I think sometimes you have to be heavily critiqued in the bottom, ready to be eliminated for you to get the fire, you know what I mean, to fight. And that's what I felt Kennedy did in this particular episode. She was like, oh, no, no. We're not doing that again. So I give my snaps to Kennedy for stepping her pussy up. And part of that was she delivered in both areas. Now, I will admit, the teeth were too much for me. So in the Bitchelor, where she's playing that character, I liked everything about it except the teeth. That cover, you know, whatever piece. It was just too much. But, I mean, she went pretty far across the board. I mean, she had the exaggerated tits and the ass. The 3 shot glasses in her chest was fun. I liked that. Pulling out a whole bottle of vodka from between her thighs that I didn't know was there was pretty fun. It was very divine, a la Pink Flamingos with the steak in the supermarket moment. I was like, bitch, you pulling fucking liquor out your pussy. Seriously? Yeah, and I was shocked at the very end of her moment in the Bitchelor where she took her fucking weave off and was just ugly, you know, to get the reaction, and Drunk falls down and her last line is, I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I did like.
Oh, okay. Like, you're just really going for an extreme of kind of crazy. And then she comes back to the runway and she does this really good, well, this excellent pageant regalness. And in my opinion, brought it to the game because bitch did wig on wig on wig. Yeah. So now the name of the game is how many wig reveals can you do on RuPaul's Drag Race? So you know either All Stars 4 or Season 11, these bitches gonna just walk the runway and with like every 2 steps.
Wigs off.
Yes. I think that's gonna be the new challenge. But so the queens that did 3 wig reveals, I gave them some claps for during the show. And Kennedy was one of them. Kennedy knew when she went to what they called the Carol Brady that pink number that it wasn't that good. And then she executed that, you know,
The
platinum
blonde.
blonde, you know, kind of like pixie. And I was like, that's good. So
Yep.
that, to me, that was Kennedy stepping it up. My eye rolls. Oh, no big surprise. Milk's delusion. That's the reason I put that clip thing together, was to hear her talking and just like, it was almost like seesaw or ping pong or something. She just kept bouncing, and I was like, oh girl, you really are kind of out of it. And interesting, in our COL Drag Race entourage on Telegram, someone said, was she drunk? Because in the post-elimination, she was like all over the place and pretty bitchy. And I paid attention. I watched it again and I thought, well, that's a possibility. But to show up drunk the next day to pack all your shit, that would be a bit of an extreme, I think. But I know. So, snaps and eye rolls. Chester, what about you? What were your snaps for?
My snaps were for Ben's three-peat of just killing every challenge. Her challenge where she came out as the cougar was so fucking spot on. Every moment of it, I could not get enough. From the moment she opened up that door with her crotch just out there to just every single part. The only part that I did not like was her taking the banana, spitting it back out, and then having it in her hand. I was a little grossed out by it, but she saved it when she turned around to Jeremy and was like, look, I've even mashed it up for you. That saved it, but then she lost it again 2 minutes later when she rubbed it on her boobs.
But she also did. There was another line, like she said, I've already done this for you, like because she was talking about the banana, and she was like, I forget what she said, but it was just yeah. Ben's performance was amazing. I think I know it's a comedy, I know it's an improv challenge, and she kind of has those chops, but this was a well-rounded, well thought out character. And it shows that Ben is a force to be reckoned with on this show. This is the third week, and this is her third win. She's won the first week, yes, but or second week or whatever. But it's just one of these things where I'm like going, she didn't, everyone's been like saying, I came here, I didn't come to stay, I came to slay and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you're not. So far, there's been one person that's been killing it. And no offense, next week is Snatch Game. And we already know she can do really good in that. So I loved her choices. I think one of the judges said was that it was well-rounded, it was perfect, because to me it just went really good. It went just to that point where it could have gotten, like you said, kind of gross and nasty or whatever, but she always reeled it back just enough to kind of keep you entertained. I was entertained the entire time she was on stage. And yeah, no offense, BB got outstaged. I liked what she was doing, but I felt like she could have done so much more with it. And the one thing I think people were doing in this challenge where they were putting words or putting something in it that wasn't there. She used the word shy. I remember her using the word shy. You didn't have to be shy. You just had to be a virgin. That's all she had to be. So what do you do with that? You can do so many things with that. And I feel that she didn't do all of them.
Right. I agree with you, Chester, that Bed de la Creme is, so far, she's delivering. She's in it to win it. And so
It's very much like Alaska last season, where everything that she decided that she was going to be doing for the challenges is very well thought out and executed, with the exception of that one challenge.
Yeah.
Where she like dropped the ball.
Alaska, yeah. Yeah.
All of her looks, I almost wonder if they were given given a dossier on the challenges that they might be faced with. I would love to see how many details are involved when they're prepping and when they're packing, because just everything has been so spot on.
Yeah, I loved her. I know she didn't do the wig on wig kind of three-peat, but she did something totally different, which is when she took the skirt off and had the hair wig, bottom of her skirt.
I consider that a wig on wig with a wig, because like they said, I think Matthew Ross says, like, you come out, we know it's going to be a wig reveal, you can't surprise us, because that's the challenge. But she comes out and they call her like the mini Michelle Visage. Big black hair, big boobs, the black miniskirt thing. But even I have to admit, you take the first wig off and then you got your second hair and okay. And then she walks to the edge of the T of the runway and just whoop. And somehow the miniskirt turns into this like Chewbacca's second cousin like skirt from the bottom half. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Did you notice it was Bear Pride colors?
No.
So was Ross Matthews' coat.
That I did notice. Ross Matthews, I think, is wearing a jacket made by JCRT, the two bear designers.
Really?
A couple. Because that looks like the pattern, or almost the exact pattern of a pair of boxers that I got from them. I noticed that right away. I was like, oh, I wonder if he had that jacket made. That would be cute. So, but all right. So Ben gets your snaps, and Chester, who gets your eye rolls?
My eye rolls were for two things. Kennedy, and they're very specific things. Mm-hmm. While I enjoyed Kennedy's performances, both during the challenge and her runway looks, the teeth for her challenge were annoying the fuck out of me. She could have done that character and still done the voice without the teeth. It made it difficult to understand some of the stuff she was saying. I'm pretty sure it would have had the same effect without the teeth. It looked funny as hell, but I don't think it was needed. And then her wig reveal with the pink wig. That wig was awful.
Okay, so I will say I agree with you about the teeth. I think they were a little too much given what she already had going with the big boobs and the big ass and everything else. I think if she could have done it, and this is going to sound really bad, she could have done like some of those fake gold teeth or something like that, and I think that would have been a little better. I don't know how well she would have spoken with it, but I think I would have liked that a lot better than the snaggly gravel tooth that she put in. They were just not. They weren't that funny. I mean, they were at first, but then, like you said, they got in the way. They got in the way how she was saying things, and it just didn't work. I know she was trying to. I think she was trying to be like, pretty ugly kind of thing going on, but it just didn't land as well as it could have. I would have liked, I think I would have liked it better if she had either taken them out completely and just kept, something in, or maybe done something like with gold teeth or
her character for that reminded me of, do you remember In Living Color from the 90s?
Yes.
With the Wayans brothers. And Jamie Foxx would come out and play the character Wanda.
Yeah.
That's what Kennedy's character reminded me of.
Yeah.
And he never put teeth in like that, and he was able to personify that character without the teeth and was still able to do that kind of a voice.
Yeah.
So it just became too difficult for me to listen to her because I was straining to listen to her, and then I would kind of like miss the punchline because I was trying to figure out exactly what she was saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, her pink wig was just
that was the other thing. That pink wig, I think. Okay, so that was a pretty much. I'm gonna say it because I've seen the wig that style before. That is pretty much a like pull it out the box, throw it on your head kind of wig. That was a shake and bake wig. It wasn't. There was no real. There's a style to it, but since she already put the other wig on top of it, it mangled the style. And then when because I remember she took the wig off and she's trying to fix it with her hand. There was no real doing that because it was already, because you in order for that wig to work, it has to sit where it needs to, appropriately for it to like the style to hit the areas. And unfortunately, given that she had a wig underneath it, she was trying to hide the wig underneath it. So she kind of had to move it a little bit, or move it in such a way that it hid the other wig. Now, if she had just kept that wig on and didn't pull the other one, that pink wig off, I would have been like, no, that was not pretty. Like, you could have done so much better, Right. And I'm glad she took it off.
Yeah.
And but
I'll
I
say
agree
this.
with you, it was not pretty.
Yeah, even Kennedy's wig reveal in the lip sync, spoiler alert, I wasn't happy about that. For the first couple of seconds, it was a mess.
Yeah.
And she knew that, and so she planted and zhuzhed the hair, and then it was fine. But that first couple seconds, I was like, I'm like, wig reveals are supposed to be good, not,
I have, as someone who has done a wig reveal before and you have to, it has to go like that. You can't, I mean, you can shake it, and if it's a long wig and it comes down, I can get, but it has to, like, I know it sounds bad, but it kind of has to fall perfectly. If it, if it's off or wrong or, off kilter, or you pull it back. Like, that was the first thing that I saw when she pulled in the lip sync, she pulled that wig off and you saw her hairline, her natural hairline.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, 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 ooh. No. Fix that. Fix it quickly.
All I kept thinking was, girl, where's your nail glue? Like, I know you ain't got much time to prepare for the lip sync, but tack that shit down. Like,
yeah. Oh well, and I anyway, I get that it was a nice little touch to the lip sync that helped it a bit. Okay.
Chester, anything else on your eye rolls?
Yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I didn't actually write it in. So last week, Kennedy was supposed to portray Janet Jackson in a challenge. And I remember the judges clocked her on not looking like Janet Jackson. What I thought was interesting is when she's on the runway this week, her makeup reminded me of Janet Jackson. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't you do your makeup like this last week?
Because I don't know. I just think she doesn't. I don't think she didn't look like Janet in that shade. I don't think she didn't look like Janet in that look that she had last week. I just think it could have been amped up a little bit. The lines were just a little too were off, and because she put that purple kind of back mask or face mask on, and it takes away from what she was doing, and whereas the outfit was a decent facsimile of what she wore in the was it Busta Rhymes? I think Busta Rhymes video, but she needed something else, and that was my problem with her, which is why she was in the bottom last week. It wasn't just her look; it was her performance, it was her lack of doing the choreography, and all of that kind of went into play. And when you, as they were saying, like Vanessa Williams said, like Janet's has a very staccato kind of style to her dancing and movement. And when you don't land that, and then you don't land the look 100%, yeah, it all kind of falters. But I loved her. Kidney has really great makeup choices. She does a lot of really great things. I envy her ability. Now, sometimes she goes a little too overboard with like the crystals and stones. And this time I liked it because it was just a little. Like it was like teardrops. And that was...
I will own and I will eat a little humble pie that in her lip sync, she just did little teardrops, which was perfect for the song. Like, that works. Even though the moment I saw them, I was like, Kennedy! I was so irritated. I was like, you and your fucking crystals again. But they're just a little touch. It was appropriate for the song, so yeah, I give her that.
That little goes a long way. Okay.
So Chester, for you, the makeup this week on the runway looks more Janet Jackson than last week.
Yeah. It was just, I think Kennedy did a really great job overall. It was just small little details that were off for me.
Yeah.
Okay. And Damon, your snaps and eye rolls?
Okay. So my snaps actually go to Chi-Chi for her runway look. I love that look. I love the nose ring to the ear. I love the really big wig, and I love the really long black wig that she wore afterwards, or with her reveal. I love the dress. I love the slits on the side. Everything about it was amazing to me. So I loved that. I felt really bad because she was in the bottom, but that's how the cookie crumbles. But overall, just the way her makeup and everything just all kind of worked together for me. Of the queens, her look was very much spot on, and it's showing me bits of her growth since her season, when she was last on. So that's my main snap. Some of the other ones like Ben and stuff, I'm definitely agreeing with. My eye rolls, unfortunately, are Trixie and Chi-Chi's doubts. During the after the bottom three, Aja, Chi-Chi, and who else was in the bottom? Milk. Milk. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot her. After they were put in the bottom, Chi-Chi just seemed very defeated, and it's reminding me of her in her season. Like she still has this doubt about, and she's comparing herself to the other girls, and I'm kind of like, get out of your head, get out of this shit. This is not the way it is. You are better than this, and I need you to stop it. Realize where you landed in your season. You were in the top 4 of your season. So keep that in mind. Like, some of the girls on the show were not in the top 4. So you're doing something, and now you're back on the show, and you spend a couple of years, you've definitely grown. I've seen you perform, and I've seen you like you're amazing. So stop with this bullshit. And the same kind of goes for Trixie. In this week, I think she kind of fell a little flat. I know she felt bad because she thought she was going to be in the top, and I think she could have been if she didn't have Milk for a partner. But that's not enough to me to be like, you know, like that's not enough for me to say, oh, you could have done so much. No. I feel like I know she was trying to do stuff and she was trying to talk, but I think she could have done something more to get those lines in. I think she could have done a lot more to work on that stuff. And I liked her runway look, but I've seen it before. I would have liked her to have done a 3 wig, because she had that really, really big, Lady Bunny blonde wig on, and I could have seen her do 3, because she went from that really big one to that very, very small, short wig, and I think it just would have been, she could have done something more with it. And I'm not liking her, doubting her ability, and I think that's part of the girls are seeing it too. They're seeing that she's doing pretty good, and I know it sucks to be safe and whatever, but she was in this. She wasn't necessarily overshadowed. She was run over by her scene partner, and
I think the judges recognize that.
Yeah.
So had it not been for Milk, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, being overly strong and really kind of screwing her over.
Yeah.
I think she would have made the top.
Like, I get that I watched the episode a couple of times, and I watched it just a little bit ago, and I remember the one thing I remembered was them saying, like Michelle actually told them, like, remember, don't talk over each other. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't hear that the first time I heard it. Watched the episode, and I was like, so Trixie was trying to play by the rules and, let, Milk say things. But at some point, you got to realize Milk's not going to let you get a word in. So you need to get a word in. You need to get something in there. You need to do something to kind of pull focus back to you. Right. I liked her. Oh, you got leaves in your hair. Why don't you just leave? I like that. I love that. That was awesome. But again, those doubts that is getting to her, and I'm hoping that she realizes that I've loved Trixie, and I surprisingly liked her. More so seeing her in the Trixie and Katya show and all of that stuff. But I enjoy what she does, and I'm hoping that she doesn't let this episode and her being safe so far make her lose her confidence, because I think she can do really well.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Are we ready to move to the next section?
Sure.
All right.
Gentlemen, start your engines, and may the best woman win.
All right. We're approaching the last laps here of this episode. So for cool down, our closing thoughts, Chester, why don't you lead us off? What is your closing thought?
Are the tops emerging in the show?
No. I saw what you wrote in the document, and I was like, are you talking about like tops?
Well, we already know there's been bottoms. And we've been told that they need to be power bottoms.
Yeah,
that's true.
But no, are we? Do you think we can foresee who's going to make it to the end? Because I was chatting with Evan earlier that we're both in agreement that Ben is definitely up there. And I said that, for as far along that Aja has come, I would really like to see her make it to the top 3. And I'm just curious if there's any other queens that are left that are gonna make it, because I thought for sure Trixie would be ranking higher than she has been, and I'm a little surprised that she keeps falling into the middle.
Yeah. So I agree with you to a point. I think there are some real contenders for the crown that are in this episode or in this season. I agree with you that Ben is definitely one of them. I don't know so much about Aja. Well, I guess Aja has been pretty consistent, and Trixie too. However, I think the main twist is what's going to change all of that to me. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what's going on, but that's the only thing that I see changing the game. So I agree with you that there are some tops forming. I think Ben has been on this very, steady track and has been winning and doing really well.
We're waiting for both of her balls to drop.
Basically.
Well, all right. I think there's a top 4. I don't know the ranking, but I will say this. I think Aja is top 4, maybe not top 3. But she can surprise me. I'm giving her that ability. I think Bendela, Shangela, and Trixie are the ones to beat. But we don't know. They could really fuck it up. Something really bad could happen. And apparently in Snatch Game, shit goes down. And Shangela and Kennedy have a backstage,
something
stank pussy moment or something. I don't know what it is. And of course, Aja is Maury Povich pop-up video. Like she just keeps saying shit about the crap that's going on, and she's like the non-narcoleptic Jinx Monsoon commentator. Like she keeps talking about the stuff that's going on without making herself a spectacle. Like I think Jinx kind of did. So I think it's the Aja Trixie show, like in commentator, like who's got the better stuff.
Yeah.
Kennedy, no offense, is starting to come across as a big C word. In the confessional, I was like, ooh, girl. Careful with that whole, like, you and the Red Bull and like, the attitude thing, because that might bite you a little bit. I don't know. We shall see how that goes. But no, I think that's an interesting theory, Chester, about, like, are the tops emerging?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of easier now to see going into the 4th episode, which I think is the halfway point. Our 3 tiers, like our top third, middle third, and then bottom third. And obviously the bottom third is just pretty much left. Anything else about that, Chester?
No, I'm just I'm waiting for the twist, because then I will make a more solidified choice of who I think is going to be on the top.
Okay,
that's all.
Fair. Damon, what are your closing thoughts?
I wrote down heavy as the crown, and as Chester is, and I'm putting that in a sense that I think the competition is starting more so now than I thought, like, a couple weeks ago. Again, I don't know what this twist will mean, but I feel as though it's starting we're at the point to me where we're going to make the turn, which is the